In this video, I continue to stick it to the man and make sure that we have nice, low energy costs throughout the coming winter and also remain very warm but very safe. Okay, so today it's that time of year again where we're out of season, but the stove needs to be cleaned. Well, the stove needs cleaning and the chimney needs to be swept. Now you can get somebody in to do this. Last time I checked they were looking at 60 quid a pass, and they recommend you do 2 passes, so that's 120 quid. But since we've been here and we've had the stove, I've been sweeping the chimney myself. I used to use a traditional chimney sweep brush with the extension poles until I found this. Okay, this is the Chimney Typhoon power brush system, and this makes life a lot easier. If you've got a wood stove, in the interest of safety and to keep your stove running properly, you should get it swept at least once a year. Some people do it twice. We've got a clean burn stove and we're very careful about what we put on it. Once a year is fine for us. We don't normally get a lot out of it, which shows that the stove's running properly and what we're doing is correct. So if you don't sweep your chimney regular, your stove is not going to run economically or optimal performance out your stove. Plus the fact you run the risk of having a chimney fire due to a build up of creosote in your chimney, and this can be especially bad if you've been burning bad stuff in your stove, as in wood that's coated with paint or other stuff. But just avoid stuff like that. Just use nice clean dry wood. The drier the better, and we use now smokeless coal because we found that it gives out more heat and it keeps the stove cleaner. So first of all, got to clean the stove out and dismantle it to a degree. Just get the stove bricks out before we can start sweeping the chimney. Let's give it a go. Okay, so here's our wood stove. I'm going to open it up, clean out all the ashes from a fire we had last night, and then start taking the stove bricks out. Okay, so just open up the stove, and as you can see it needs cleaning out from a fire that we had last night. Let's check the pan. So first off, I'm going to clean all this into the ash pan, and to do that I'm just going to use the normal brush for cleaning things out. So brush it out as much as I can at first. Okay, just put that brush there. I'm going to first take this bit out. Okay, and let's give it a clonk. Oops, into there. Okay, so remember which way this goes in. I'm going to put it down that way and put it safely out the way over here. Okay, so just carry on cleaning this out as much as I can with the brush. We get a lot of pallet wood, hence there's some nails. Doesn't do any harm whatsoever, but obviously when the wood burns away, the nails are still visible. So put them there. I've got a rubble bag for all the ash and debris that's going to come out the stove. As you can see, there's some stuff left in there, so I'm just going to use this scoop, get it out and put the stuff into the rubble bag. Okay, just carry on brushing it out. Few bits I can't get out with the brush, so just get them out by hand. Before we go any further, I'll just see how we're doing with the ash pan. Yeah, it's not too bad. Just empty that into the rubble bag. to give us a bit more room. Some more of these stones out. Okay, so now we've got as much of that out as I can at the moment. Next I've got to take the fire bricks out and get the top baffle plate out. So one thing I do to help me get it back together, okay, is just go make a mark there, left and right. Just label them left and right. Now you might notice our stone's cracked at the back, there, the back one. Behind there is the chimney, and every time I replace the back stone within the season we get that crack, so I think it's part of the design of the stove, so I'm not bothering to replace that this year. Okay, so the first thing to do now is get the baffle plate out, and to do that you need to first remove one of the fire bricks. Okay, so I took one of the fire bricks out so I can start getting the baffle out. Okay, that's the baffle plate out. Clean that off into the rubber bag. And remember that that is the back and that is the top. So place that over here with everything else. It's important that the baffle plate's clean because that helps the stove run properly. I'm storing the plates over here. Now we can take the rest of these out. So left and right. And now we take the back stones out. And again I've labelled them left and right because it's split. Clean some of the dust off then. This has got a special name, this stuff. I think it's vermicelli. It's like a fireboard, fire brick. Nice and lightweight. Okay, so that's all that lot out. Okay, so now I've got all the bricks out, I'm just going to try and clean the rest of this out. Okay, and just give the stove a good clean round inside. Quick inspection of the stove, can't see any cracks or anything, it all looks good. Just give it a bit more of a clean round there. Okay, I can see a bit of the ropes coming away from around the door. I'm not too bothered about it because here we have a CO2 carbon monoxide alarm, and whenever we're running the stove, at the moment it's showing me the temperature in here is 24 degrees. And now you can see the 3 zeros, battery's getting low, I'm going to need to change that soon. We've got the 3 zeros which shows that there's 0 carbon monoxide in the air, and there's 0 particles, harmful particles, and that's what we always see when we're running this stove. If that was to change, obviously these alarms would go off, there's a problem, we've got a leak with the stove, and but we never see that. Okay, now for the exciting bit. So with this kit you get an end pole with all these flailing things on it, and they're very flexible. They're thinner than the old poles I used to use and a lot easier to get round the bend that's in the chimney. So each one of these has a hole here, and the rod that goes in has a little button that pops through that hole. One of these has an attachment that goes on your drill. So that's tight in there, and then we join the first of these join the first, or rather the end. Okay, and then we locate this into the end of the chimney. Okay, it's gone round. So we pull the sheet down to stop any ash coming out. Just keep going with that. and then we put the next one in. Okay, so we've gone as far as we can all the way up the chimney. We were hitting the cowl. It took me 4 rods altogether. We're not a very tall building here. So now I'm just bringing the rods backwards, still cleaning out the chimney, and as I come out I'm going to remove each section of rod until we're completely out. Okay, so that's the chimney swept. I've come back out with all the rods and slowly disconnected them, and now it's time to put them away till next year. Let's see what we got out of it. I don't think it'll be much. Okay, let's sweep that into the ash pan. And then put it in the rubble bag. And see, nice fine ash, nothing nasty's come out of there. Okay, so using the Iron Hell inspection torch, just check the battery. Oh, we're on full power. Just have a quick look in. See how we're going. Okay, there's some sort I want to get out from there. So we'll try and get that out now. Okay, so now using the special ash vac, which is designed for this type of job. Like I say, don't use a normal hoover, it'll just fill the room with ash from your chimney. So now let's try and clean this out using this ash vac. Here we go. Okay, let's have a quick look inside. Okay, so that's the stove totally clean now. All back together. Clean the stove glass. And we're ready to go for another winter season. No spare parts left over, no mess, no nothing. Just got to empty the ash vac now. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the chimney swept for another year and the stove fully checked over. That'll make sure that we can run the stove safely and efficiently throughout the winter. Save money on our bills running a wood stove, and save money by doing it ourselves. If you want to have a go at it yourself, that Chimney Typhoon that I used to sweep the chimney with, you can get them off eBay. I think about 30 to 40 quid. The price probably varies depending on how many rods you use or need. I think I've got 6 rods, but I only need 4, and I think that might have been the smallest kit. But it's worth looking at. Like I say, if you get a chimney sweeping company in, I would think it's going to be 80, maybe 100 quid a pass. It's changed a lot since I priced it up. When I priced it up, it was probably about 6 years ago, 7 years ago maybe. So yeah, if you can do it yourself, you'll save yourself a load of money, and you'll keep your stove running nice and cleanly and nice and safely. Take care, stay warm, because winter is coming.